Witman again. Have you been noticing that the weather is getting a little chillier? Are you putting on your winter jacket already because it's so cold out in the morning? I've kind of noticed that too. That's because in Pennsylvania we have seasons. Our weather changes with each season. So in the springtime, it's nice and warm and all the flowers have lots of sunlight to grow. And then in the summer, it gets nice and hot and sometimes a little breezy, like down at the beach it would get very breezy. In the fall, all of the leaves turn colors and sometimes fruit trees drop their fruit like apples or pears. And finally, we get to the season of winter. It's not quite winter yet, but it's starting to feel that way. So today we're going to talk a little bit about seasons and about how the animals change with the seasons. So first we're going to pretend we are a tree. And we're going to make all sorts of things happen with our tree. Sometimes the flowers will open. Sometimes the breezes will blow. Sometimes we'll drop our apples. And sometimes we'll shiver with the cold snow that has fallen on us. Are you ready? This is my trunk, I'm a tall, tall tree. In the springtime the flowers grow on me. They open, they open. This is my trunk, I'm a tall, tall tree. In the summer the breezes blow through me. I bend, I bend. This is my trunk, I'm a tall, tall tree. In the fall time the apples drop from me. They drop, they drop. This is my trunk, I'm a tall, tall tree. In the winter the snowflakes fall on me. Brr, brr. Nice job. What do you notice about the animals when it starts to get colder out? Do you notice that some of the birds start to go away? Or maybe there's less insects around? Sometimes animals even go into their burrows and stay there for a really long time. Well, we're going to start today with a story called When Winter Comes, and we'll see all sorts of things that change when the season is changing from fall into winter and it gets a lot colder out. Let's take a look. When Winter Comes by Nancy Van Lan and illustrated by Susan Gaber. Where, oh, where do the leaves all go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, the leaves go tumbling down. Snow is their blanket, their bed is the ground. Where, oh, where do the flowers go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, their petals wilt, but their seeds burrow down to rest underneath the leaves' golden crown. Where, oh, where do the caterpillars go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, inside their cocoons so tightly wound, waiting for spring to bring green to the ground. Where, oh, where do the songbirds go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, south they fly, warm weather bound, to bask in the sun on the soft moss mossy ground. Where, oh, where do the field mice go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, field mice tunnel under the ground and rest in a nest thick with thistle down. Where, oh, where do the dappled deer go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, dappled deer wander making no sound. They rest closely knit under trees in the mound. Where, oh, where do the fish all go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, deep under they swim when the pond's ice bound. In the dark they quietly circle around. Where, oh, where does our little one go when winter comes and the cold winds blow? Where, in a warm bed when winter comes round, listening to the wind with its gusting sound, watching the snow as it falls to the ground, snuggling deep, fast asleep. And that was When Winter Comes by Nancy Van Lamb. Nice job. So we're going to take a look at some other animals that also hibernate to sleep. Did you see a couple of those animals in that book? Well, there are many animals that have to hibernate during the winter time and the cold months so that they're ready for the springtime. And when they hibernate, they spend a lot of time sleeping, but not all the time. We often think of hibernation as being something that they're asleep the whole time, but really sometimes they will get up and go find food and then come back and sleep again. They're just not up every day. So lots of animals hibernate in our area, and I know we always think of things like bears who hibernate or maybe groundhogs, but there's other animals too, like little mice. Did you know that little mice will hibernate during the winter and they'll burrow and make a little burrow underground and stay nice and toasty warm? Hedgehogs also hibernate during the winter. And here's one that maybe you didn't know. Snakes hibernate. Nearly all snakes around here have to hibernate. It gets much too cold for them, so they hibernate during the cold months. And that's the same for frogs. Frogs also hibernate during the cold months. It's just too cold out there. And then there's another one that maybe you did know, the squirrels. I noticed that my squirrels in my backyard are starting to get a little less active because they're getting ready for their hibernation. They're building their nests so it's nice and warm and stocking up on their food and maybe putting all of their little acorns somewhere for later. So those are our 5 animals. I'm going to bring my video down here so you can see them. Now you might want to make your 5 animals like this with your fingers. And maybe you want to put them in a little bed. You can do that if you want to put them in. You can even tuck them in with a little blanket. 5 animals hibernate to sleep. 5 animals hibernate to sleep. If one of these animals should wake without a peep, there'd be 4 animals who hibernate to sleep. Let's count our animals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have 4 animals who hibernate to sleep. 4 animals hibernate to sleep. If one of those animals should wake without a peep, there'd be 3 animals who hibernate to sleep. Let's count our animals. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 animals who hibernate to sleep. 3 animals who hibernate to sleep. If one of those animals should wake without a peep, we'd have 2 animals who hibernate to sleep. Let's count our animals. 1, 2. Now we have 2 animals who hibernate to sleep. 2 animals who hibernate to sleep. If one of those animals should wake without a peep, we'd have 1 animal who hibernates to sleep. We have 1 animal who hibernates to sleep. 1 animal who hibernates to sleep. If this animal should wake without a peep, we'd have no animals who hibernate to sleep. So how do all these animals know that it's time for hibernation? Well, probably the biggest thing that they're looking for is the weather. And they might notice that the weather is getting colder, so they know it's time to get ready for hibernation. Now, most of the animals around here haven't hibernated just yet. It's not quite cold enough, but many of them are getting ready. Like the squirrels, you might notice, are gathering their nuts and building their nests to stay warm for the winter. You might notice that there's birds flying south. You might even notice that it is getting a little bit colder. So we're going to do a finger play today. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shiver because it's cold. That tells us it's time to start getting ready for hibernation. There might even be snow in the sky, and we can wiggle our fingers like little snowflakes. We can pretend to be a squirrel gathering some nuts. Can you do that? And we'll flap our wings like a wild goose who's flying away. We're going to pretend to be a fox. Foxes have nice big ears on their heads, so you can make little fox ears like this. And he has fur to keep him warm, so we'll stroke our fox fur. And of course, a bear is in a cave. Can you make your cave? And he's going to be sleeping in that cave. All right, I think you're ready. Let's start by giving ourselves a big hug. The weather is cold. There's snow in the sky. The squirrel gathers nuts, and the wild geese fly. The fluffy red fox has his fur to keep warm. The bear's in a cave, sleeping all through the storm. Are you ready to try some again? See if you know some of the words. I might even pause and see if you can shout them out. Are you ready? The weather is cold. There's snow in the sky. The squirrel gathers nuts, and the wild geese fly. That's right. The fluffy red fox has his fur to keep warm. The bear's in her cave. That's right. Sleeping all through the storm. All right, let's do it one more time. And this time I'll go a little bit faster. The weather is cold, there's snow in the sky, the squirrel gathers nuts, and the wild geese fly. The fluffy red fox has his fur to keep warm. The bear's in her cave, sleeping all through the storm. Today we're going to use our scraper again. Just like last week, the scraper is going to be used to make the snoring sounds in the book. So every time you hear the title of the book, Bear Snores On, I want you to scrape your scraper with one of your sticks. Let's give it a try. Here we go. Bear snores on. Get ready to use your scraper in our book. Bear Snores On by Karma Wilson and illustrated by Jane Chapman. In a cave in the woods, in his deep dark lair, through the long cold winter, sleeps a great brown bear. Cuddled in a heap with his eyes shut tight, he sleeps through the day and he sleeps through the night. The cold winds howl and the night sounds growl, but the bear snores on. An itty-bitty mouse pitter-pat tiptoe creep crawls in the cave from the fluff cold snow. Mouse squeaks, "Too damp, too dank, too dark!" So he lights wee twigs with a small hot spark. The coals pip-pop and the wind doesn't stop, but the bear snores on. Two glowing eyes sneak peek in the den. Mouse cries, "Who's there?" and a hare hops in. "Oh, Mouse," says Hare, "long time no see." So they pop white corn and they brew black tea. Mouse sips wee slurps. Hare burps big burps. But the bear snores on. A badger scuttles by, sniffs at the air. "I smell yummy yums, perhaps we can share." "I've brought honey nuts," Badger says with a grin. "Let's divvy them up, cozy down and dig in." And they nibble and they munch with a chew, chomp, crunch. But the bear snores on. A gopher and a mole tunnel up through the floor. Then a wren and a raven flutter in through the door. Mole mutters, "What a night!" "What a storm!" twitters wren. And everybody clutters in the great bear's den. They tweet and they titter, they chat and they chitter, but the bear snores on. In a cave in the woods, a slumbering bear sleeps through the party in his very own lair. Hare stokes the fire, Mouse seasons the stew, then a small pepper fleck makes the bear achoo! He blows and he sneezes, and the whole crowd freezes. And Bear wakes up. Bear gnarls and snarls. Bear roars and he rumbles. Bear jumps and he stomps. Bear growls and he grumbles. "You've snuck in my lair and you've had all fun. But me, I was sleeping, and I have had none." And he whimpers and he moans, he wails and he groans, and the bear blubbers on. Mouse squeaks, "Don't fret, don't fuss, look, see, we can pop more corn, we can brew more tea." Bear gulps, Bear gobbles, he sighs with delight, then he spins tall tales through the blustery night. When the sun peeks up On a crisp, clear dawn, Bear can't sleep, but his friends snore on. Well, that's all we have for today. Thanks for singing some songs and doing some activities with me talking about hibernation. Start looking around at nature in your backyard. Are you noticing that some things are hibernating? Well, I hope to see you next time. Bye! Goodbye, we certainly had fun. It is time to go now. Goodbye, our singing time